In this episode, the craziest Porsche 911 ever made. Also, a very interesting Porsche. And get jacked while you drive. Welcome to episode 226 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rao, are you more of a nerd than I am?
I am becoming it in certain disciplines.
Like?
Porsches.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I am.
How?
So, a little birdie told me that the new 992 GT3RS happened to make a stop at our local Porsche dealer.
Okay.
I just so happened to finish one of my work days very close to the Porsche dealer. So I said, you know what? I'm going to just pop in to see the car because I haven't seen one yet. Right? It's a car guy thing, right? And I walked in and I was just kind of enamored by it. I would say that the 992 GT3RS is the most bonkers, insane, out of bounds, wild 911 Porsche's ever made.
Okay. Yes. 911, yes.
Not car, but 911.
Right.
It is, I mean, the geeky levels of technical wind management in this car, it beggars belief.
Is it like a McLaren?
If maybe more.
Ooh.
It may have out McLaren to McLaren. Every single piece of this car was designed for wind management.
Yeah, and we have some illustrations here that you've managed to find.
And these are straight from Porsche Newsroom. So I was walking around the car, and like, there's all these small, itty-bitty little vanes and fins that you think, oh, well, that can't do anything. But it so does. I kind of started to really nerd out on the 992 GT3RS because I had to kind of understand what the hell is this thing. It's so incredible. It's crazy. It's wild. And to see it in person, it has a presence. I mean, it's kind of scary to look at. Like, it looks like it wants to kill your wife and eat your children.
Oh, boy.
Like, it's menacing.
It's not. You mean a BMW?
Kind of. Well, BMW is scary because it wants you to die. This wants to kill you.
It will just nom.
Yeah. No, it is, I wouldn't even necessarily call it pretty.
Ooh.
I would just call it purposeful.
Okay.
Like the McLaren Senna. I kind of liken it to a McLaren Senna. Because a Senna, in my eyes, isn't a pretty car at all.
Not really.
As a matter of fact, it's very not pretty.
Yeah.
It's very functional. It's very purposeful. It's scary looking, but it's not pretty.
It manages the wind.
It does, and this car is so geeky. So I had to kind of do a little bit of digging. By the way, the wing on this car is the biggest wing I've ever seen on anything.
Not that Honda Civic that you saw yesterday?
Fair point. That may have been bigger. But realistically, this wing rivals that of the race car, the GT3R race car. Like, genuinely, it rivals that wing.
That's a big wang.
It's freaking huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could honestly put a pillow and some blankets and sleep on it. It's huge.
I could see you doing that.
I would. Yes.
You would.
But I did come to find out that the 992 GT3RS, with all of its aero, it develops over 900 pounds of downforce at 124 miles an hour. But when you crank it up to the really high-speed corners, at 177 miles an hour, it is almost 1,900 pounds of downforce.
Is that at the point where you could flip it over and drive it on the ceiling?
Almost.
Yeah.
I mean, almost. Genuinely, almost. That is twice as much as the outgoing GT3RS.
Ooh.
And
wow.
3 times as much as the current GT3. That's huge.
That's a lot.
There's actuators all over the car. There's particularly on the wing where you can actually engage DRS. We've talked about this, where it's got drag reduction system. So you're on a straight, open it up, and boom, you have like no downforce. It can be slippery or it can be heavy,
right?
However you want it to be. I mean, it's adjusting the angle of attack, so it's all active aero. It is unbelievable. And actually, the wing can even act as an air brake. So it'll adjust the angle of attack to just be a wall.
It's more than DRS.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's insane. Now, most 911s have a frunk. We know this, right? Because the engine's in the back, or in Europe or in the UK, the boot, right? This car does not have a frunk. That's for wind management as well.
Oh, of course.
Yes. The frunk has been, instead of most 911s have like a triple radiator, this now has one giant ass radiator square where the frunk would be. What it's doing is it's sucking air. You can actually see it in this picture right here. It's sucking air. And then the fins and vanes on the top of the hood are designed to very specifically move the air in a very particular direction. So the hot air that's coming out of there is being directed to the side of the car, whereas the cold air is being directed over the top of the car to the wing.
I see.
It's so geeky and nerdy. It's unbelievable.
I'm pretty sure that most race cars, or most rear mid-engine race cars, have this setup where they have the radiator in the front and the air flowing over the car.
They absolutely do.
Yeah.
That is exactly like the Porsche GT3R race car that races in IMSA right now.
I think it's also like Ferrari has that as well.
They do.
Is it BMW's front engine? They don't have that setup.
Correct.
Lamborghini. Yep,
Yeah.
they would have it.
As a matter of fact, you remember not this most recent IMSA Long Beach Grand Prix, but the prior IMSA Long Beach Grand Prix when the Corvette and the Porsche were in the pit stalls, and the Corvette's wheel nut flew into the central radiator through the hood of the Porsche. It has almost the same setup. And the front arrow on this car is also active arrow. It's not static. It's active arrow in the front too. I didn't even realize this, but when it comes to developing things like that, your double wishbone suspension, they designed the double wishbone for downforce as well.
Okay.
Even the double wishbones increased downforce to up to 88 pounds with just your double wishbones.
Wow. That's a lot.
Everything on this car is just 100% purposeful.
Yeah.
There's nowhere in the car that when you're walking around it, looking at it, you think, well, they just let some designer have a Friday and just design something.
No.
I mean, most of the time, a GT3 and a GT3RS share a lot of body parts, like 95% of them. This doesn't. Even the side of the car has different fenders and doors. The door itself is different. It is. I have never seen a 911 like this.
It feels to me like they're inching closer to McLaren, which is not a bad thing. They're just becoming more scientific, becoming more like nuanced in their design process. It's probably a good thing in general, especially if you want to go fast.
Yeah, and the funny thing is they haven't taken the approach of, the Dodges, the Chevys, the Teslas, the Lamborghinis, and fit it with 1,000 horsepower.
Right.
This thing has horsepower similar to a Ford Mustang.
Yeah,
it's 500 plus. It's not much over 500 horsepower.
Right. It doesn't need to be.
It doesn't need 1,000 horsepower.
We've said that a lot on this show, is you don't need horsepower to have fun. You totally have 150 horsepower and have the time of your life.
Yeah.
As long as you're pushing the limit of the car. So.
Seeing one in person, it definitely gave me, I had to learn more about it. It's hard to fathom this car. And it's a big car too. I mean, it was next to an M5 in the showroom, and that was just, it's about the same size. It's unbelievable how they've designed every piece of this car to funnel cold air to the wing and all active aero pieces to help it stay stuck to the ground, giving you 1,900 pounds of downforce through high-speed corners. It's just unreal, this car.
It's the GT3 race car in a road version.
It is literally that, but even more because it's got active aero.
Right.
The GT3 race car doesn't. I actually reckon this is straighter faster in a straight line than the GT3R race car.
I would suspect yes.
With DRS, I mean, you open up that rear wing and let the air just flow, get slippery. Yep. I bet you this is faster than the race car.
I'm sure it is. Yep.
God, I can't wait to see what the Nürburgring lap time is.
Did they let you drive it?
No, it's already sold, and it's not a cheap car.
Oh, you got to drive one.
I want to so bad.
You've driven.
I've driven GT3RS before.
Not a 992, but yeah.
Correct. I've not driven a 992 GT3RS, but I've driven GT3RSs before.
Which one did you drive?
991.2, because that makes sense too.
Oh, God.
The prior.
All right.
The prior GT3RS.
A different one. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But yes, this is the new GT3RS, and I am just flabbergasted at it. What a thing it is.
It's a race car for the road.
It actually is. And I've realized the majority of people that buy it will never be able to extract 10/10ths out of it.
No.
No way. You've got to be a Jörg Bergmeister. You've got to be a Lawrence Vantore, Kevin Estre to be able to extract the best of the best out of this car.
You have to be unafraid to crash it, which anyone who buys it would be deathly afraid of crashing it.
Yeah.
Except for those guys that are manufacturer drivers.
Yeah.
Right.
So I went and popped in and see the new car.
While you were driving out and about, did you see any other interesting things?
I did see a couple things. I saw something very similar to this spec, a dark gray Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. It's just so pretty.
Yes, it is.
This is prettier than the GT3RS.
Yes, I would agree. This doesn't have the McLaren problem where they're starting to just make it so aerodynamic. Porsche's doing a good job at that edge of the McLaren aero.
You can still tell that it's a 911.
Yeah, you can. But they're definitely pushing it. They're getting there. Every single time they add a new vane and a new weird-looking aero thing, it's like, oh, okay, we're getting closer to that printer that you got over there, McLaren. Yeah. We're getting closer.
But I saw this DBS Superleggera. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's undisputably gorgeous, right? But that is not my spot of the week.
What might that be?
My spot of the week goes to not quite this exact spec, but very similar. I saw a Porsche. It was a Porsche Panamera. But it was no ordinary Porsche Panamera. It was a donk.
A donk?
A donk.
Explain that to me.
Okay. A donk is when you get a regular car and you fit like 26-inch rims on it.
Oh,
and you get the chameleon paint job.
I know where we're going.
And you get the extra chrome. And you get the speakers that are pointed outwards instead of inwards.
Yes.
That would be a donk.
I see.
I saw a Panamera Donk. But it wasn't a Panamera S4S Turbo GTS. It was a base Panamera.
Oh, of course.
Because why would you take a GTS or even a turbo and make it into a donk? Look at this thing. It looked very similar to that. It wasn't quite that one, but it looked very similar to that. Oh my God. It's a chameleon Panamera with like 26-inch wheels on it.
Takes all kinds.
It does.
It's not up your alley. It's not up my alley.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, if I had unlimited money,
oh no.
I wouldn't donk a Panamera, but I would keep a donk in the collection.
Okay, what would it be?
Oh, it would be like an old Impala or something like that.
Oh,
I would go proper.
Oh,
I would do like an old Impala or something of that nature.
See, I thought you'd
something
go full
big body.
I thought you'd go G-Wagon or
No. Old classic American stuff.
Oh boy.
Like a big bodied something like that.
I see.
That I would keep a donk and I'd make it have 1,000 horsepower.
Some like 32-inch spinners on a
damn right.
old Impala. Yeah.
With chameleon paint job.
Let's go.
Yeah, and like 22,000 speakers in it.
That's definitely some car culture that we don't know a lot about.
I don't know much
but
about
it's out there, and it's a very viable thing.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. So my spot of the week is a Panamera Donk.
Okay. That is something else.
It is.
I saw something while me and my wife have been getting into pickleball. Have you ever played pickleball?
Oh, I have not, but I want to. It looks like fun.
It's like the lazy man's tennis.
But seriously, where the hell did this crazy pickleball mass huge crazy boom come from?
I don't know. I don't think that it was like pandemic related either.
I don't think. All of a sudden, it's like everybody plays pickleball now.
Yep. Also, the name pickleball. Who came up with that? I don't like
pickles, so it wouldn't be very good for me.
Who came up with that?
I don't know.
It's such a weird name. Anyway, I saw the classic Mommy Missile that was out at the pickleball courts.
Oh.
I don't know who was driving it. I'm sure it was one of the mothers out there. But it was a Ford Explorer ST ST.
Oh, ST.
Yes. So I believe that it's the top line Explorer. Am I
Pretty well,
correct in
yep.
that?
It's the Hot Explorer.
Yes. And would you get one of these?
Actually,
Ooh.
I would.
Okay.
I actually really like them.
Hold on. Let me give you some numbers about it, and then we'll talk about why you might actually like this car.
Okay.
So this is the Ford Explorer ST. We're looking at around the 2020. I think I saw like a 2022-ish, something like that.
Probably.
And the power of this car surprised me a little bit. 400 horsepower.
Out of an Explorer.
Out of an Explorer.
Out of an Explorer.
That's a lot.
That's a lot for
That's
an
a
Explorer.
lot more than I thought.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot more. That comes from a twin turbo V6, a 3-liter, and it's, I believe,
3.5 liter.
Oh, is it 3.5?
Yes,
Okay.
because it's the same engine that came out of the Ford GT supercar
Really?
and the Raptor.
So
Yeah.
it's the EcoBoost Ford GT thing. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It will make you, I think, 450 pound-feet of torque, or 415. Sorry. And another interesting stat that I've started to look at more, because we're kind of coming into this EV world, is the range.
Oh.
The range on a tank of gas will get you 484 miles, which is close to 500. I think 500 is around like that's good. The stamp of approval. So it's not far off. But if you look at that compared to the normal Tesla, which is like 250 to 300,
It's a lot more.
there's a difference. There's a big difference.
Big difference.
Big difference. The curb weight of this vehicle, around 4,700 pounds.
It's heavy. I mean, it's an SUV.
You would expect it to be north of 4,000 pounds. So I really like it.
Wait. You said you like it?
I do. I like the looks of these. I didn't know that the numbers were as powerful as they were.
So to stop you there, there is an enthusiast world for the Ford Explorer ST.
Oh, really?
I've happened to see glimpses of it. People are tuning these because it's a twin turbo V6. There's a lot of tuning you can do to this.
It's no slouch.
People are getting like 600 horsepower to this damn thing.
That's a ton of power.
With some relatively simple mods, that's a 600 horsepower mommy missile.
That'd be a bunch of fun to drive.
Oh my God. Can you imagine that?
It's front wheel drive, right?
Or is it drive?
Is it all? Okay. Would you be spinning tires? Yeah, you'd be spinning all wheel tires.
Yeah.
Holy jeez. That thing is a monster. I think,
Stock, it'll do 143 miles an hour.
that's insane.
It's a Ford Explorer.
That is insane.
It's literally a Ford Explorer.
I know. I'm gonna quickly look up the 0 to 60.
And it's funny, a lot of people don't realize how exciting the Ford Explorer ST is. They're actually pretty exciting.
0 to 60, 5.2 seconds.
In an Explorer.
Oh.
And when you do small tunes, that puts you into the 4-second range. For an Explorer.
That's bonkers.
It's a Ford Explorer.
You see a lot of mommy missiles around, but pay attention to the ST because that thing's properly fast.
And I think it's even 3 rows, too.
I believe it is.
3 rows of 400 horsepower goodness.
The only problem is it's a Ford. That's the only problem.
I don't even care.
Yeah,
I like the look of it.
I do too.
Like, of all the grown-up 3-row SUVs, it actually looks pretty good.
It looks very good.
It looks aggressive in the right ways.
Yep.
It looks...
Do you know, could you find these used for like reasonable amounts of money?
I think you could.
Or do they hold their value insanely well?
I think you could. I'm going to look up...
In my head, right, the mommy missile question is like, all right, what do we get? Do we go Mazda? Do you go Tesla Model Y? Do you go Ford Explorer? What do you go?
40, 45 grand.
Okay, so it's comparable in price.
Yeah.
Those are used,
Yeah.
2020s, I'm assuming?
Yep.
With like, how many miles? 60, 100,000?
No, 3,000 miles.
3?
Brand new.
Oh, wow.
This one's 30,000 miles. But anywhere between 3 to 30, that's a brand new car.
Yeah. No, that's solid.
Yeah. I
Wow.
love it.
Okay.
There's your Ford Explorer ST.
Yeah. That was a solid car spot. I didn't know a lot about that vehicle till now.
It's one of those when you see it and you start looking like, wait a minute now.
Now that's neat.
All right, so let's move on to the I wish there would have. Do you have one?
I do. So I had ChatGPT come up with my list because it's very good at it.
Okay.
And it came up with a kind of ridiculous one, but kind of one that I want to chat about. I asked it, can you come up with some crazy car ideas? Something that's never been thought of before. And obviously it can't exactly come up with things that have never been thought of because it's been trained on things to like tell you. But it said, what about an in-car fitness system? And I said, tell me more.
Oh, boy.
Fitness. It spat out a system that encourages and guides the driver to perform exercises, either while stuck in traffic or on long drives, perhaps using the resistance built into the steering wheel or seat. And I was like, huh, not a terrible idea. Kind of weird, but not terrible.
So you're just going to like work the wheel back and forth and back and forth.
It would be an odd workout.
It would be.
But people do a lot of weird stuff while they're driving.
That they do.
So I could honestly see that. Maybe the pedals have some stiffness to them and you're just pumping those brakes like you're trying to bleed them.
Yeah. Maybe bleeding the brakes is a leg workout.
Yep. The throttle's got a long pedal to it,
Yeah, there you go.
You could work out your legs. I don't know. An in-car fitness system.
I mean, every once in a while I'll get my little grip strength or anything and I'm just like squeezing my grip strength or anything.
Right.
But that is different.
You get some dumbbells in there.
Yeah, start doing shoulder presses in the driver's seat. Car beside you looking at you. What the hell are you doing?
I've seen weird. I've seen more weird. Way more weird.
There's much weirder.
Yes. So what about you, buddy?
I wish my car could clean itself.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Exterior, interior. What do you mean here?
Yes.
Oh.
I wish it would just become clean.
Okay, let me give you the Honda Element.
Well, yeah, but that still needs me to clean it.
It does. Just clean itself. Some cars have like the vacuum hoses in them, right?
Maybe a butler comes out of the logo and the badge in the front and the badge in the back, and the butler just...
Isn't there a business called a car wash that you could bring it to?
Yeah, but I don't want to do that.
Okay, you want the car to clean itself.
I do.
From an engineering perspective, that sounds terrible.
It's never going to work.
No.
You need like little robots with water and soap and a vacuum and
crazy Roombas.
Leather cleaner and...
It would be impossible. It would be impossible.
Self-vacuuming carpets.
I shouldn't say impossible. It'd be very difficult.
Each of the carpets have to like just suck the dirt into a thing and it dumps it out the bottom.
Some of the closest things that I can think of, did you know that airplanes get cleaned like once or twice a year?
No.
Like big airliners?
No.
And they have like machines that have basically the same thing you would see at car washes, the big rollies.
Oh, really?
And they like crane them up over the top and slide them along.
Yeah. That's funny.
I could see that going on. It's basically a car wash at that point.
That's pretty funny.
But for airplanes. That's a tough one.
It is.
Yeah, I'd love it. But all right, how about this? The best solution that I can come up with is on the exterior have the windshield film that you peel off when you're on a motorsports race.
Oh,
but
so
the whole thing is a tear off.
15 feet of tear off.
The whole car.
Yoink.
You want a fresh paint? Tear off. And then you bring it to somebody who puts new tear-ons on every year. And they put on like 20 of them.
You get 12, one per month.
That's way more simple than coming up with a billion Roombas. I don't know.
It is, but I like a billion Roombas.
Okay.
That's all I got for episode 226. You got anything else?
Nope.
Then that's going to wrap us up. Thanks so much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and drop a comment on the video. Let us know, do you think the Porsche GT3RS is too McLaren-like now or not? If you're listening on audio, send us those thoughts via social. Facebook is We Are Auto. Instagram is We Are Auto _. YouTube is We Are Auto. And our website is weareauto.io. So, thanks again. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.